Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dives. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
The San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. And, guys, we are back. Shout out to Raphael, man. You already know what it is, man. Mr. Click, click, boom is back, man. Guys, we are here to have a good time. I got a breakdown. This Kyle Shanahan presser. We also got a chance to hear from our coordinators today. So I'm going to add those guys to the stream as well. And I know you guys got some Thursday night football to get to, man. It's going to be an interesting game out there, guys. Let me tell y'all something. Man. I think Kirk Cousins and those Falcons have a shot. I think they got a shot, man. I definitely would take the Falcons with the points. That's all I'm saying. Now, I could be way off and they're going to get blown out, but I'm just saying, take the Falcons with the points. All right, anyways, let me run through some formalities really quick, though, and then we'll go ahead and just jump right into this. It's going to be a short show, okay? If it's your first time here on the YouTube channel and you enjoy what you are seeing, please make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. For those of you out there who are watching on the Instagram channel, please head on over here to the YouTube page. The YouTube is youtube.com/nothingbutniners. So make sure you guys come on by, show us some support. All right, we have some social media platforms we want you to check out. Speaking of Instagram, all right, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Those handles are also Nothing But Niners. That's spelled all the way out. And then we have Snapchat and X. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. Now, I want to go back to this one really quick because I'm going to always forget. Nothing_but_Niners is now officially the one on Twitch. So make sure you guys get on over there and follow us over there, okay? So boom, there's that one. And then last but certainly not least, man, this is where you guys go, man. This is the one right here, y'all. Patreon.com/NB9ERS, baby. Yeah, let's go. That's where we be over there having a lot of fun. We turn up, we get live, we get out, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break down these pressers, man. Okay, enough of the applause. I'm going to break down these pressers. We're going to have a lot of fun, but make sure you guys get on over there, patreon.com/NB9ERS. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm at a network. I can't watch the game. I should go out there and get Sunday ticket and all that. Hey, just come right there. That's it, patreon.com/NB9ERS. Sprinkle a little $5 more in there, and you'll be good to go. We'll take good care of you over there, okay? Now, let's get back to business here, all right? We got to bring up Kyle Shanahan. This is going to be where I start my episode today. This is going to be breaking down the pressers. We got Kyle Shanahan coming to the podium first, all right? And the interesting thing about this is, you know what? I'm not even going to tell y'all. Just want y'all to remember what the title of today's episode is, right? Bulletin board material. All right? And again, we're going to hear from Kyle Shanahan. We're going to hear from Robert Saleh, and we're going to hear from Kubiak as well. All right? So when we hear from those guys, I'll break down my thoughts. But Kyle Shanahan spoke yesterday, all right? And this is going to be Kyle Shanahan's thoughts going into this upcoming game. Who's that game against? Well, I'm sure you'll find out as the pressure goes on. So let's go ahead and get to it. You ready for it? Here it is. Boom. Let me take off the border so you guys can see. Let me take off the border so you guys can see the actual closed captions. And we're going to go ahead and break this down. All right, let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
What's up, guys? All right, for practice today, Tatum Bethune, ankle, won't practice. Samo, ankle, won't practice.
Oh.
Nick Martin, concussion, won't practice.
You know what? Before I start that, thank you very much. Big Daddy Niners, listen, man, I see you here. How's your wife been doing? She is back up and on her feet. She went back to work this week finally, and I'm broke, which means she's healthy because she's spending money. So everything is good. So thank you all for the prayers, the well wishes. She's yelling thank you from the room in the back. So she hears me talking trash about her. I thought I was going to get in trouble, but it was actually a thank you to you guys. So thank you all for the prayers and the well wishes, man. I definitely appreciate it. So thank you guys very, very much. All right. Now, we're going to get back to it. Nigel Crane says, any 49ers news this week? So far, not yet, if I'm being honest with you, right? But you're going to hear some updates here. So let's go ahead and start this bad boy back over.
What's up, guys? All right, for practice today, Tatum Bethune, ankle, won't practice. Samo, ankle, won't practice. Nick Martin, concussion, won't practice. And Juice, ribs, limited. Go ahead.
No opening the window for Eacher this week?
We're going to open up tomorrow.
No.
Well, since they gave us an opportunity, we'll go ahead and start there. Yetur Gross Matos is coming back to practice today. He said tomorrow, but this was yesterday's presser. So round of applause for that. We need all the defensive line help that we can get. YGM hopefully can stay healthy and contribute to this team in a positive way. All right, so that's really, really good. Kyle Juszczyk, who was in concussion protocol, if I'm not mistaken, is now back. Limited fashion, but he is back out there. And then there was the long list of guys who were not participating in practice on Wednesday. All right, let's get back to it.
I was going to save this, but, a big story in the NFL is Phillip Rivers. Obviously, you guys had reached out to him about three years ago when he was, 2 years removed from playing. What makes him like a legitimate guy who might be able to play, in his 40s? Like, what are his qualities that would be like, okay, maybe you can pull this off?
All right. This is beef number one for me. This is beef number one already. Right? Now, I'm cool with asking about Phillip Rivers if we were about to play the Colts. This guy is on the practice squad. They don't know that he's going to elevate him. They don't know that he's going to make the active roster. He's got so much stuff to talk about and to think about. We have no idea if he's actually going to be a factor. So, first question was, any update on YGM? Will his practice window be open today? Not today, tomorrow. Cool. That was pertinent to the team, information we're going to need going into this week. Next question is about a Colts player. Keep that in mind. What's going on, Perk? I see you out there, baby. What's going on, big dog? Oh, wrong button.
Well, when he played, he was one of the best quarterbacks of all time. The way, as you get older, I think mobility leaves big time. Arm strength doesn't always. And when you have guys at elite level who know how to play in the pocket, have the size to hang in there, and still have the arm strength to make the throws that you need to make, that gives the guys like that an opportunity or a chance to be able to pull off something like this. And I would say he's one of the few who would have a chance to do this.
And you guys reached out to Rivers and Roethlisberger?
Just Rivers.
Oh, just Rivers. Yeah. Okay. And sorry, I know I'm testing your memory a little bit. What was the time? Was that like when Jimmy broke his foot? Was that later on?
No, we talked to Phillip as soon as Jimmy broke his foot and talked about the possibility of him coming in. I remember telling him that we really felt good about this rookie that we had. And we were having to sign other guys from other teams to even have a backup at that moment. So we had no backup. We also had a rookie who was the last pick in the draft and who hadn't played a snap yet except for the mop-up time that he got. So we're not sure where this is going to go. But we'd like to see him go and see how he can do because we think he might do real well. But regardless, we didn't have anyone after him at the time. So that was when Phillip started watching our installs, getting ready for the possibility to come here And he would have if Brock ever got hurt.
2 minutes into the presser, Phillip Rivers. Next question.
What do you see from Cam Ward? Where's he at in his development? What kind of challenges he present?
This right here, I'm going to applause, and I'm going to tell you guys why at the very end of this presser. Good question here, because it pertains to the upcoming match. Here we go.
I mean, you can see is why he's the first pick in the draft. He throws like a top quarterback. He can make every throw on the field. I think when number one is open, he's extremely accurate at hitting them. You see the ability.
Kyle, why the timing to open Yetur's window tomorrow and not today or even Monday?
Just because of how the whole offseason went with him and our plan this year. We don't ever practice them 2 days in a row on Wednesday and Thursday. So he only practiced on Thursdays regardless, even before he got hurt. So we're not going to open until that day.
And as far as Nick Barton, is it just a matter of him working through the concussion protocol, or is he still experiencing symptoms?
Yeah, he's in the protocol. He's still got symptoms, so that's why he's still in it.
You mentioned going into the bye that it might be a little early for Tatum Bethune to come back out of practice. Is that that's kind of the sense of it, or you just?
So that's what it is today.
More injury questions. Okay.
Kyle Manor was a Stanford guy. Was he someone that you guys were looking at in the draft, and then what have you seen from him so far this year?
Yeah, we definitely studied him hard in the draft. He's done a good job, got a lot of playing time, and they've had some young guys going on there, especially with some injuries, and he's a big receiver who can make some plays, but I think he's done real well for his rookie year.
After 13 games, how refreshing was a Week 14 bye, and how did you spend it?
I spent it hanging out with the family, relaxing. It was fun to kind of just watch football Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and just from a fan perspective. And it was different having to buy this late. I don't know if I'd ever ask for that or wish upon it, but it was kind of nice. Usually you have your bye week early on, and I annoyed the hell out of my family because I'm like, no, we have to do this for lunch. We have to do this right now because when this is over, I'm going like 11, 10 weeks straight. So it was a little different having it in December where it was almost a little more relaxing because you made so much of the roster. I mean, you made so much of the season already, and I'm excited to get back now for the best time in the year for football.
All right, so here we are, week 9 of the Kyle Shanahan experience. And they're still asking him, how'd you spend your bye week, Kyle? That's one question. Here we go.
Oh, excuse me. You guys have done really well post-bye, a lot of years. And is there some message or is there some reason that you think your team is so much more successful post-bye?
Not that I know of. I mean, we don't do anything differently. So, I mean, I know some people have good records, some people have bad records, but I think most of that's just a coincidence. I don't think we do anything unusually different than other teams, but I think we practice hard, we play hard, so it's always good when we get a rest. I mean, you always come in feeling better, and the key is to how to keep that freshness and feeling better, but yet still get at least 2 hard days of practice in so you can knock off all that rust. And if you can do the combination of both, where you rest to get fresher, but you can also find a way to get that rust off before Sunday, then I think it's always an advantage.
Coach, just wondering if the time off, you had any time to reflect that you guys are 9-4, given all the challenges you've had with injuries, that I know you need a little bit of help, but still have a shot at the division and an outside shot at being the number one overall seed in the NFC. Did you reflect on all that at all?
No. Everyone tries to with me, and then I usually.
I love Kyle. You know, he just wanted to say no and go on to the next question. But this is Kyle kind of relaxed a little bit, right? Like he's like, all right, no. And let me just go ahead and try to explain, right? Like people ask me all the time, whatever. No, there's no reflecting. It's on to the next game for Kyle. But go ahead.
Snap at him. You can just as easily lose 4 games in a row as win 4 games in a row. And so that 4 games is a long ways away. And there's a lot of things that can happen. So I don't reflect at all.
Where is Eric Kendricks at health-wise, and how do you see him fitting in?
I'll get Eric going.
Eric Kendricks.
He's got a tight calf today, so I'm not sure how much he's going to go today, if he's going to go. But he's working back into here. Hopefully it's not too bad of a setback with that, but we'll see when he gets on the field.
Has he been emotionally coming back in, and because he hasn't played football in a while?
I think he's awesome. I mean, I feel like I know him just because I've gone against him. It seems like so many times. I don't know him, but just seeing him out on the field, it's like eerie watching him on scout team all last week, just from our end zone copy, because I feel like I'm having post-traumatic stress from seeing him as a linebacker all the time going against him. But he looks like Eric, acts like how I've always heard he is, and you can tell he loves football, and hopefully he can get his body right and get out there.
Follow up about the bye week. We know for the guys, it's like resting the body and kind of rejuvenation. For you as a coach, you do pretty well historically after a bye. How does it kind of help you to reset? Do you put it down completely? Do you still study? Do you break away? How is that for you?
No, I try to, I go up till Tuesday night and then I shut it down till Sunday. I just spend time with people I haven't seen for a little bit or spend enough time with. And I catch up on sleep, usually get 3 good meals in a day and enjoy my dog a little bit and come back a little bit fresher.
I know you wanted Saleh back regardless, but given everything the defense has been through, all the moving parts, how beneficial has it been to have a guy that you trust so implicitly in that role this year?
It's huge. Just going through this offseason with them, having to make a bunch of decisions on where we were going and where we're at and trying to make the best of a number of things going into the draft like that, knowing how this year was going to be different and knowing we were going to have to tinker with things throughout the year and just having a guy that I know has done it before, and also I've done it. We've done it together to where I know that he's extremely capable of doing it, and he's done it at such a high level, done it a number of places, and it's exactly what he's done here.
Now, a report came out, was it today, that the Niners and the Raiders were in a bit of a bidding war for the services of Robert Saleh. All right, and then what that report came out and said that the Raiders wanted him, and they wanted him to be Pete Carroll's successor. All right. So that meant that the Niners had to pay a little bit more to get their guy. But that also means, that tells me at least, that there's a chance that when the Raiders move on from Pete Carroll, they're coming back for Robert Saleh. All right. Is that why a guy like Gus Bradley was brought in? To see his thoughts, see how Robert Saleh does things here, see what works well. Maybe Gus will be promoted to coordinator and Saleh can't take him in the event that he does go to the Las Vegas Raiders. I might have said Oakland by mistake. I don't know if I did or not. But maybe that means that when Robert Saleh goes to the Raiders, Gus Bradley gets promoted. All right? So just something to keep in mind here going forward.
Yourself having to be less involved with the defense. Were you doing it more than you maybe would have liked with first-time coordinators?
You always got to meet with them. You can't ever get too far away, whatever side of the ball you're on, or major in as a head coach. But also too, when I watch people try to fix things too much, when you're giving it, whether it's 50% of your attention or 80% of your attention. You got to be very careful if you're not giving something 100% of your attention that you're going to make it worse. So I try not to overdo anything regardless of the situation, but I always try to stay involved.
Of it being as easy to lose 4 games as it is to win, is that something you have to address with the team, just keeping the focus here and not letting that outside noise seep in?
No, totally, because I think that's how I talk every week. I don't think that's any different now. I'll talk that differently if the last game we're fighting for exactly what that is, because now I can say it, but I just know how quickly things go in this league, and that's how I talk in week 1. After we're 1-0 or after we're 3-0 to our first loss, that there's really no difference in how we talk until you know exactly what that game is, and rarely is it that case until you get to a playoff game.
How did the expectations for Curtis Rourke over these next 21 days?
It's just nice to get him back. He's been working to be healthy, to get out there in the practice field. We'll see how he does in these 3 weeks. Nick not being here will allow him to get more reps on scout team. He'll still be doing those with Mac too, because Mac's got to get his reps in. But it's really just a value for these 3 weeks and see where it goes.
A lot of people around the league have said this is like the most wide open NFL. Since you've been in the league, would you kind of agree to that, or where like a lot of teams have a chance to win it all?
Yeah, I do think a lot of teams have a chance to win it all. I think that's pretty similar though to me most years. You always have, anytime you got Mahomes and things like that, and you got the Josh Allens and stuff, they're always the ones that you look at. But there are a number of other teams, especially when you take guys like that out of the picture, that are all capable. And when it's the NFL, which is different than all sports, when it's one game and not best of 7, anybody's capable of winning. And now you got to be good enough to get to the playoffs. You got to be good enough to win 3, possibly 4 in a row, which those are the challenges. But on any given Sunday, it's it's one game. That's, to me, why football's the best. It's never about a 7-game series. And usually when it's one game, any team can win. In a 7-game series, to me, it's always usually the best team.
Relayed, how is Toes feeling after the bye? And after last game, did you see like some increased mobility where maybe you can open things up more?
We haven't held anything out. Once he's came back, especially, halfway through that first game, Arizona, like I asked him after that game about his toe on Monday, and I got such good answers, and he looked that way all week that I haven't asked him about his toe since. We'll let Eric do that.
2 more.
No more, actually.
I guess. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So let me just go ahead and get right to it. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling after this presser. Guys, the Niners have the Titans coming up this week. And if you listen to this presser, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know. There were more questions about how Kyle spent his bye week, which, by the way, same answers every single season. Every single season is the same answer, right? There were more questions about how Kyle spends his bye week and more questions about Phillip Rivers than there were at all about the Titans. We had one question about Cam Ward. I see why he was the number 1 pick. He can make every throw. The normal jargon and positive speak about any quarterback that you're about to go up against. And then there was one question about Alec Manor. I don't know how you say his last name, but the wide receiver that they drafted in the 4th round. That was it. Nothing else about the Titans. They asked Kyle questions about what he thought about, you could get 4 wins in a row and you could be the number 1 seed, and have you thought about those different? No, I haven't. Kyle, the NFL is wide open right now, and there's so many teams with the possibility of being the number 1 seed. Like, is this the first time? No, right? Like, no, I don't think about any of that kind of stuff. If you were to just go off of this presser alone, if I'm the Titans, I'm replaying this presser over and over. That's the bulletin board material right there. That's the bulletin board material right there. These beat writers and our press, they don't get it. They don't get it. Kyle, what challenges does the Titans defense present to you guys? Generic question. You can just plug that in every week about whoever the team is and let Kyle try to break down, they played the run really well, or they're susceptible. Well, I'm not going to say anything they're susceptible against, right? Like they have a really good nickel, or they got a good safety out there. Give him an opportunity to say something. On offense, what have you seen this year? I know that they don't have the best record, but they put up a fight against this team and that team. What do you think about how those are the kind of questions you should be asking. But instead, we asked about Phillip fucking Rivers before we asked about any player on the Titans, about anything about the Titans. That's bulletin board material. And while 49er fans are like, maybe 49er fans feel the same exact way that these beat writers did, right? About how our reporters did, right? They're all looking past the Titans. They're asking about the next 4 games. They're asking about Phillip Rivers. They're asking about the number 1 seed potentially be. What are we talking about right now? They're asking Kyle about how he spent his bye week. Why? Why? He spent it with family and loved ones and friends. He slept and ate better. These are the same answers that we have gotten every single season right after the bye week. We don't have to do this over and over. We don't have to ask these same questions every time. And if I'm the Titans, I'm pissed off. The lack of respect for our upcoming opponent is insane to me. It's absolutely insane, right? I know that we're looking at that team and we're looking at that record. We're saying, oh, it's no big deal, right? We don't really care about the Tennessee Titans. Who are the Titans this year? What are they doing? Who have they beat, right? And like, I hear it. I understand maybe where and why you guys are asking those kind of questions. But the truth of the matter is, it's an NFL game. It's an NFL game that we have coming up. no one wants to sit back and just be like, you know what, man? I know they only have 2 wins. It's only 2 wins, Kyle, but is it possible? You know what I would have preferred? Kyle, you think this is a trap game? Is it possible that you guys are overlooking this team? That would have been better than, hey, what do you think about Phillip Rivers? What made him so special when you guys called him 3 years ago when he was like, what? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? If I'm the Titans, hey, guys, they don't respect us. They only mention Alec and Cam. Well, let me let you guys in on a little secret. And I understand that the Titans might be going for the number 1 pick. I'm not saying that they're losing on purpose. I'm not saying they aren't, or they are, right? But Brian Callahan is out here at least applying and putting together a resume for other teams, if not the Titans for next season. You understand what I'm saying? Did y'all even know who is the Titans head coach? Who is the Titans head coach right now? Mike McCoy? Who is it? These guys aren't just going to go out there and lay down. They're defensive coordinator. They're players. Their players are out here trying to earn roster spots with or without this team. With or without the Titans, these guys have lives to live. They have families to provide for. They've got money to make. If y'all think that we're going to go out here and just steamroll the Titans, if y'all don't think that the Titans know that it's a 13.5 point spread, or 12.5, 12.5 point spread in favor of the Niners, it's disrespectful. Luckily, there's another mismatch, and it's 13.5 points, so it's not the biggest. But you got the media, you hear from Kyle Shanahan publicly for the first time since the bye week. They don't even ask questions about y'all. It's rude. It's downright disrespectful. I don't understand how our media continues to ask these terrible kind of questions. And so you Niner fans out there who, yes, we should win this game. We should. Right? We should win this game. We got to start changing up stuff on social media. Perk, I know you go crazy on social media. We should win this game. We could talk our shit, right? But let's not act like we're going out there playing against the Pop Warner team. Let's start spreading the word on the social media circuit that, hey, we got to be careful. That this is the definition of a trap game. This is the biggest spread the Niners have had all year long. And I get it, right? Everyone's out there is hype. The Niners held this team to 10 points. 2 10-point opponents in the last couple of games. The 49ers, they're doing so good. Robert Saleh is back in, right? That's what they want to hype us up. That's what they want to tell us, right? That's what they want you to believe. They held 2 opponents to less than 10 points. And yeah, that's true. But it was the Browns and it was the fucking Panthers. I repeat, it was the Browns and it was the fucking Panthers. No disrespect to the Panthers or the Browns, right? Because you see the Panthers go out there and they beat the Rams. They go out and beat the Rams. The Browns go out and beat the Titans, and they have 4 touchdowns and some change, right? The Niners held them to 8 points. Cool. They held the Panthers to 9. Cool. They go out there and they score 28, 30 plus both of those teams, the Panthers and the Browns respectively, in their next games. But my issue is that when you overlook somebody, when you overlook a team, those are grown men with egos, with pride, and with incentives. There's a coach out there on that roster that is saying, hey, I might not be here next year when they blow this whole thing up, but that doesn't mean I can't be applying and putting out good film somewhere else. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And so I boo that entire presser, except those 2 questions. Except those 2 questions. Now, what I'm going to do now is bring up Robert Saleh And I'm going to bring up Clay Kubiak. And I am going to hope and pray that the questions today were better than they were yesterday. Because while the Niners should win this game, dog, this ain't it. Teams are looking at the Niners defense as soft. I'm going to tell y'all how they're viewing us. It's an opportunity. That's how teams are viewing the Niners defense. Don't let that 8 points against the Browns and the 9 points for the Panthers, don't let that fool y'all. When the rest of the league looks at this defense, they say it was just the Browns. It was Shador's first. Like, they're not worried about that. It's the struggling Panthers. They're inconsistent. They'll put up 30-plus one week, and they'll put up 5 the next week. That's what they're saying. They're not crediting the Niners defense for being almighty and all-powerful. We gave up a ton of yards. Don't get complacent, faithful. Forget the faithful. Players in the locker room, if y'all see this, when y'all see this, do not get complacent. Sitting here looking at, if we just win the next 4 games and then the Rams lose one and the Packers lose one, then we got the number one. No, fuck all that. No, absolutely not. No. One game at a time. And respect your opponent. I started watching this show on Amazon Prime, and it's called The House of David. And I'm not here to speak on anybody's religion or anything like that, but a lot of people are familiar with the story of David and Goliath. I sound like I'm about to start preaching. But y'all can already tell where I'm going with this. Sometimes when you're the favorite, sometimes when you're the giant, you get caught off guard. The NFL has proven time and time again that any given Sunday, anything can happen. Raise your hand if you had the Panthers beating the Rams last week. I talked to my cousin who was here and a Panthers fan. He said, Mike, we got to win one of the next 2 games, and we got a shot at winning the division. He said, I'm not trying to be funny, no disrespect to you and your Niners, but y'all are the easier one. Y'all are the easier opponent. That defense, we can put up some points against y'all. We could put up Brock Purdy. I've seen what he's been doing lately. We could get some interceptions, and they did. But I'm telling you what he felt as a Panthers fan. Hey, we go ahead and get this win against the Niners. We're probably going to lose to the Rams. Now, it was switched. It was flopped. But any given Sunday is my point. You can't overlook an opponent. You can't. While I like while I like Robert Saleh and what he's doing with this defense, I still see a lot of things that could be taken advantage of. I do. We're going to hear from Saleh in a second. I do. I don't think the Niners have incorporated their wide receivers well enough. Sorry. Here we are going into week 15. Who are our best wide receivers right now? Put a name down in the chat. Don't give it in order. Give me who you think our best wide receiver is on the roster actively playing right now. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody out there tell me. Y'all out here on Instagram, tell me. Y'all out there in Twitch, tell me. We got Ricky Pearsall. I know people who, look, Jennings. Give me one name, that's all. I know people who think Kendrick Bourne. My point is, these guys aren't really necessarily doing a whole lot. You go back to that Browns game. You know our leading wide receiver was? Christian McCaffrey. No, my bad. No, he wasn't. I apologize. It was Jawan Jennings. Let me stick to the receivers. Let me stick to just the receivers. It was Jawan Jennings. He also had 4 catches. Ricky Pearsall, 2 catches for 14 yards. 2. Juwan Jennings, 6 targets, 4 catches. If you go to the game before that, let's go back to that Panthers game. Forget all the turnovers and all for a second. Forget all that. What just happened here? What did my browser just do? Here we go. 49ers, Panthers. All right, now it's not going to load. It's got me looking crazy right now. It's cool. Y'all get my point. You can't tell me it's Ricky Pearsall. He's getting 1 or 2 catches a game. The Niners put up 41 points against the Cardinals. Sports data is temporarily unavailable. That's what Google is telling me right now. That sports data is temporarily unavailable. Let's try going in this way. Let's see if this way does it. Boom, there it is. Player stats. This shit gave me 49ers Panthers from 2022 with Jimmy Garoppolo. This is why I hate Google. Here we go. I got y'all. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing. 49ers leading receiver. Nope. I'm not even going to say George Kittle. I don't want to talk about George Kittle. Where are the player stats for this game? How do I find them? I don't even know how to use ESPN. Let me see here. That's going to give me all George Kittle. See? This is pissing me off. I'm getting angry sitting here right now. In a game that we should be just fine. Receiving. Juwan Jennings, 5 catches, 41 yards. He was our leading receiver against the Panthers. Let's go back to that Cardinals game where the Niners put up 41 points. Who do y'all think was our leading receiver? The point that I'm making is not that we're a bad team. That's not what I'm trying to drive home at all. What I'm trying to say is that there's plenty to be desired out there. Juwan Jennings, 4 catches, 54 yards. That's it. 3 games in a row, and you have 50 yards of production for your top wide receiver. It's not about playing the teams on our schedule. I'm not complaining about the schedule. I'm not complaining about the opponents. I'm not downplaying it. Our schedule is our schedule. Our opponent is our opponent. I'm absolutely okay with that. What I'm saying is for us to be overlooking anybody is insane to me. The Niners haven't warranted that kind of respect. I know what the record says, but the Panthers right there with us. What is that? You respect the Panthers? And that's my point. We got to be careful. We can't overlook anybody. That Browns team that we just played them. In my opinion, personally, you guys can say what you want, feel how you want. I respect it all. I felt like we struggled to move the ball against the Browns. Put up 26 points. The Titans put up 31. 31 points. They didn't ask a single question about their offensive scheme, their play, their running backs, their tight ends, offensive line, their defensive pass rushers. They didn't ask any of those kind of questions, guys. Not a single question about that. What do you think of Cam Ward? And what do you think of Eric Amuir? Ayer Manor, however you pronounce his last name. Again, no disrespect intended. I apologize. You understand what I'm saying? We shouldn't be overlooking the Titans. That's my point. Let me hear what Robert Saleh has to say. Let's see if they ask Robert Saleh any good questions here. Let's see. Robert Saleh, How was your bye week? I have no idea. I haven't seen this. It's going to be a live experience.
Nice.
What does Eric Kendricks bring to the table, and how's he doing so far in the transition?
He's doing a good job. You know, he's obviously he's a veteran leader. He's picked up the playbook pretty quick with a lot of the recall he's had throughout his career, and you know, so we're slowly moving him along, and hopefully he gets on the field soon.
When you spend the bye week self-scouting and stuff, I'd imagine the last couple of games obviously impressive, holding opponents under 10 points. So, kind of what's your state of the defense going to the Final Four here?
Same thing. You know, we got to continue getting better. You know, you never want to sacrifice your style of play, the effort, the violence, the technique that we preach, and I think our guys have done a really good job of that. I think the bye week came at a perfect time. I think our guys were getting a little tired, which probably led to you know, we had a lot of missed tackles, for example, against Cleveland, and a lot of missed tackles towards the end of the year. There's a direct correlation between being tired and missed tackles for football teams throughout the course of the year, and so this bye week came at a perfect time. And but overall, I mean, I'm going long answer short. It's been good. We got to continue getting better. We're still a long way to go.
How did Gross Matos look today out there in practice?
He did good. You know, for first time out in a few weeks, obviously, we just had him go through individual, and we'll continue to build him up as we go.
For the rookies, it was their first bye week, and it's, you know, learning how to handle that. How do you think that they did handle the bye, and how did they come out of it?
I think they did a good job. You know, we'll find out on Sunday overall, but I think a lot of them felt refreshed. I mean, it's not easy for a rookie when you go 14 straight or whatever, how many weeks we went, 13, and you know, I not to speak for Alfred, you know, he was one of the guys I had a candid conversation with, and you could tell that he just feels rejuvenated. But hopefully the results show on Sunday.
Talk about Cam Ward's game and scouting him. Have you seen improvement throughout the year of what he's been able to do?
For sure.
First question about our opponent.
Significantly throughout the year. He's, you know, earlier in the year, obviously his numbers weren't great, but I think his numbers have improved week in and week out. Uber talented, can make every throw. You know, they do a really nice job. You know, it's they've been in a lot of football games, and they've kind of let it slip away there in the fourth quarter. But overall, I think offensively they've been moving in the right direction. They do a lot of really good things, and the quarterback, just speaking of him, he's got a lot to him.
What do you think about a guy like Jordan Pollard, and how do you kind of prepare schematically?
Well, both of them, 20 and 2.
There you go.
Two very good backs, two very different backs. Both physical, elusive. They can break tackles. They've got great vision and body contact balance. So
Pollard and Spears.
Really impressed with both those backs, and they do a good job getting them the football in a variety of ways. But definitely something that has our attention.
Robert, Cleveland Farrell mentioned post-game after the Browns that even as a new addition, he was impressed that the team was able to block out the noise. How validating is it for you to hear that a veteran like him can kind of come in mid to early season and notice that?
You know, he'd been here before, so he kind of knows what the standard is. You know, I think it is good, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, that you go out there, and I think Cleve broke the team down today, and he just talked about having that confidence that when you take the field, you're one of the best in the world. You suit up, you're an NFL player, and that's the truth. And to ride with that confidence, and I think our locker room does that. I think our locker room believes that it's the best in the world, which I think it is, and they approach every single game that way.
A late bloomer, like, how do you explain this run that he's on right now?
I don't know. He's doing a heck of a job, you know, and it's not fake either. He's winning one-on-ones. He's getting to the quarterback. He's playing with great effort and violence, and you could say that. I mean, there's a lot of pass rushers who came on late. I don't want to misspeak, but I think one of the best ones of all time, Michael Strahan, came on really late. You know, so with all these players, you just never know. You just stick to the grind with them, and you keep developing them, and you keep giving them opportunities. And guys like him, who play relentlessly the way he does, is always going to be given opportunities just because of his play style and what you can count on. And so credit to him. You know, what he's been doing isn't fake, and hopefully it continues for the last 4 weeks.
They're talking about a guy with 4 sacks in 4 games, and we need it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. But we're also talking about a guy whose season high is 4.5 sacks, right? And so we're going to have to generate more of a pass rush. I mean, they put up 31 points against that Browns pass rush. And he talked about the missed tackles. You got Pollard that bust off a 65-yarder, right? Finished the game averaging over 6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, right? He did, to Robert Saleh's credit, did credit Spears, right? And Spears didn't do a whole lot in that game. 8 carries, 19 yards, not a lot. But it was Pollard's game. 25 carries, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns, right? So we could sit here and say, "Oh, this should be an easy game for the night." I'm telling you guys, just don't overlook. Please don't overlook this team, please. All right.
The games that you guys play up front, is it more about the quarterback you're facing, or is it about the personnel that you have on your line?
Give me the beginning part.
When you're playing lots of stunning games and twists up front, you're doing lots of that in the game. Is that about the quarterback or your talent?
It's really your game planning the offensive line at that point more than anything. You know, who you can take advantage of, where you think there's who you think you can crease. You're trying to find space in the protection. So we do a variety of different looks, whether it's 8-up pressure look or different types of show looks, just to get the O-line to see where we can create space in there, and that's where the games come from. So it's more of game planning the offensive line than it is a quarterback.
I've watched Cleveland. And thought he looks slimmer this year than he did 2 years ago. That may be due to the different jersey number he was wearing. But what do you see as far as quickness and?
Oh, damn! My bad.
Fresh legs, just him coming in.
The question was, who are their leading receivers? My apologies, guys. So it's Chig Okonkwo. Their tight end is their leading receiver, followed by their 4th-round rookie, Alec Ayomanor, and then Calvin Ridley. All right? And we're talking about less than 50 yards separating everybody underneath Alec. All right? So they spread the ball around very, very well. DK, Gunnar Helm, Calvin Ridley, they are separated by less than 20 total yards. So they spread the ball around. They're going to take their time. They're going to find the open guy. There's no gimmies here. There's no gimmies. So that was answering the question of who their leading receivers are. All right? The first one is their tight end, though. Their tight end is, 73 yards more than Alec Ayomanor. He's at 426. All right. My apologies for being muted.
When he did.
It could be fresh. I don't have any recall or any personal interaction with Klee. What I do know is that the guy plays like it's the last play of his life, which is what you want everyone to play with. And I think when guys have the mentality that he has with regard to effort and play style, you're always going to give yourself a chance to succeed. And, like I said, whether he lost weight, and that's kind of been the edge to give him that extra step, that'd probably be more of a question for Kasarik. But he's definitely, like I said, what he's been doing is not fake. And hopefully, again, just to repeat myself, hopefully it continues for the last 4 weeks.
How's Etor handled this year? It really hasn't been.
Who's that?
Etor Santos. How's he handled this year?
Yeah, he's been in good spirits. It could get frustrating. He missed OTAs in training camp trying to rehab, and he came back, and I thought he was progressing well. Again, it'd be a good question for him. But as far as I can tell, he's been in good spirits. He's been positive. He's working his tail off. He's trying to get back to the team.
When you do the self-scout, is there an area that kind of stands out where you want to improve on? So you use your circle like this is what I really want to hit on last 4 games?
You see what I'm saying? for like all this time, all the questions, and the truth of the matter is they haven't asked shit about the opposing team. And Robert Saleh is one of the more detailed guys. You ask him, he's going to answer the question for you. They say last question, and they say, hey, when you did the self-scouting, what stood out to you? Like, I just
trying to get back to the team.
When you do the self-scout, is there an area that kind of stands out where you want to improve on? So you use your circle like this is what I really want to hit on the last 4 games?
You know, from a self-scout standpoint, you're really just trying to find the things that you do really, really well, and you're trying to eliminate some of the things you don't. And that's from a coaching standpoint. Like, let's continue putting players in positions that we're excelling at versus stop doing the things or asking them to do things that we clearly just can't get done. And not to get into those details, but that's really what you're looking for is more, you're not changing your scheme. Nothing dramatic is happening. You're just trying to emphasize the things that you do well, especially in this last stretch.
Sometimes Kyle has talked about not necessarily the defensive line going for the kill, but maybe just kind of containing the quarterback in the pocket. How unique is it to have a defensive line group that wants to play selflessly like that as opposed to just going for the stats and the numbers?
That's a good question. I think that's a credit to Chris and the way he coaches those guys. And you know, I always talk about our D-line. It's relentless chaos, but it's organized in a way. And you know, he's got those guys tied together. They understand what they can and can't do. And you know, I always say in coaching, you always get what you emphasize. And Chris does a really good job of emphasizing the things that they need to get done, where you can still rush the quarterback relentlessly in the way you need to win a one-on-one, but also within the confines, if you will, of the scheme and keeping the quarterback in the pocket.
One more. And
Sure.
Curtis Robinson's got a couple starts now, so I guess what's his style as opposed to what you've seen out of Brett's different, but him and Tatum to Curtis, how has that transpired?
I don't know if there's a different style. There is, but I think all of our linebackers have the same mentality. Curtis is really smart. He is sideline to sideline. He's relentless in that regard. They play with great effort. You know, a while ago when we first got into the league, or when I first got here in 2017, we were still kind of a Sam linebacker needs to be 240, and a Mike linebacker needs to be this, and a Will linebacker needs to be athletic, and I find it hard to imagine that anyone else is doing that anymore in the league. And we kind of shifted really in 2018, where it was just give us 3 linebackers. All of them are the same, and whoever can communicate the best will be the Mike linebacker. And Curtis is no different than all of them in terms of size, length, foot speed, all that stuff. And he just happens to be really good at calling the defense, and he creates a calm in there.
All right.
Cool. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Gonna keep it moving.
Ready.
What happened? Why aren't we talking?
Not everyone at once.
All right, just go home.
You know, five receptions for 20 yards in 3 games. Is that more on him, or is it on you guys and how you're going to him? I mean, what's going on there? He's not producing very much.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's on. I mean, it's circumstantial. I think every game's different. I think you go back, you know, the Arizona game, I think was his first game back, and we targeted him a lot, and there was coverages, you know, dictated where the ball went. I think Carolina, we did target him a handful of times, and Brock missed a few throws on a couple, and we got into a situation where we were trying to run the ball in the fourth quarter. And then in the Cleveland game, there weren't many ops, and he did take advantage of some of his ops in that game where he beat man coverage a few times, and he made some big plays. So it's situational. Ricky's not doing a thing wrong. He's practicing his butt off. He's competing. He looks good. And that's football sometimes. That's the life of a receiver. Sometimes the ball comes your way, sometimes it doesn't, and just keep your head down and keep playing, and good things tend to happen. So that's the plan.
Anything jump out at you just looking back at Brock's couple of games he's been back? And just, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I thought the Cleveland game was awesome. I mean, for him to bounce back from Carolina, where he just missed some throws in that game, whether it was timing or just missed something and ended up throwing 3 picks, but then he bounced back against Cleveland in a really challenging environment. against a really good defense that was going to play man, and he was going to have to make throws and stay in the pocket, and he did. And he did what he needed to do to win. So I was super proud of Brock. Every game's been different. Every defense has presented different challenges, and I'm just proud of how he played against Cleveland. And I think he's playing with confidence now, coming off the bye week. So expect him to keep playing well.
You threw away the ball 7 times in that game, as opposed to like it was 7 times the whole season previous. Was that something you emphasized to make sure you didn't put the ball in danger?
Yeah, I think one thing we really emphasized in that game was we can't hold the ball against that pass rush. If you're going to sit there and take a couple hitches, the ball's got to go, or you got to run, or you got to get the ball to your hands, because those guys, that pocket was collapsing, and we knew the challenge. So it was a point of emphasis for sure. We just didn't want him holding the ball and a turnover to cost us in that game. So.
Season have come when he's holding the ball longer. How much of a point of emphasis is it to just be decisive?
It's always the emphasis. We want every play to be decisive as we can. But Brock's made a living on holding the ball and making plays too, and you don't want to take away that skill of his. I'd have to go through and look at all the interceptions and tell you why.
This is the last question.
I think some of it's just missing the throws. Some of it's,
maybe not.
It's not the best play design. That happened earlier in the year against Seattle, where we put him in a position that wasn't a great call. But you got to balance those two things. You want him to be decisive as he can be, but you also want him to be the playmaker he tends to be when he can get outside the pocket and hold the ball. So just constantly weighing those things and balancing it out.
Is that a larger percentage of his interceptions on first down? What's the sort of the risk reward balance, maybe on first down, of maybe not taking a chance, or when to take chances, as opposed to later in the?
I mean, you want to be aggressive. You don't ever want to. Those are situations. First down, you get an earned first down. You want to stay aggressive. You want to get explosives. That's where that happens in football games. Usually, is you're taking advantage of the defense not knowing what you're doing. Are they running it? Are we play action? Those are situations we like to be aggressive. Again, that's football. Sometimes you miss a throw. Sometimes they make a play, but you got to turn the page and just Brock keeps his mindset, which I'm going to stay aggressive, and he's made those plays more often than not. So we're not going to take that away.
Not
from
one question.
Do you or your staff use Pro Football Focus data numbers?
It's a PFF question before a Tennessee Titans question to our offensive coordinator.
Things like that.
I know we've used it. I couldn't tell you what we specifically. In my world right now, I get numbers sometimes from our analytics department. We look at numbers and can't always tell you where they come from, but I know we do use that, and especially in the off season too. So yeah. All right. You guys good? Appreciate it.
And this is how you walk into a trap game. This is how they walk into a trap game. Now, I will say this, and I'm not doing it tonight because I actually want to go watch this football game. It's an hour show. We're wrapping it up here. And I'll be back tomorrow with my guys from 49ers Hive. But, this, that we did get a chance to hear from players today. They did the little lockers interviews. I don't know that it got any better. I don't know that it got any better. And you are creating the mindset. Again, bulletin board material. That's what this title of this episode is. Tennessee Titans, they don't respect you. They think this is an easy dub. Y'all coming off y'all second win of the season. And you put up over 30 points. You would think there would be questions about that. There was one Tony Pollard question. One. And Tony Pollard hasn't even been the bell cow all year long. They just decided to use him instead in this game. But he had that 160-plus yards, so let me ask that question to Robert Saleh. It's insane to me that they let that happen. It's absolutely insane that they let that happen. Guys, I digress. That's going to do it, man. That's it. That's all I got for you guys right now. Make sure you guys head on over to Patreon, man. Patreon.com/NV9ERS. All right. This is the place to be for more of my real, sincere thoughts. Shout out to all of you guys out there in the chat. You guys ask me better questions than what the reporters ask of our head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. So shout out to you guys. You getting applause. I appreciate each and every one of you guys out there for taking some time and rocking with me. Just let me do my thing. All right? I thank you guys for that. You guys are great. I'm going to get out of here. All right? And you guys go out there, watch this game, man. Like I said, I think that there's a chance. Those Falcons might surprise some people. I'm not saying they're going to win. The game might be closer than what people think it is, all right? That's going to do it for me today, all right? Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure.